but my memory is not that much good. Even we talked about, you know, memories yesterday for the club, and I actually admitted that, well, I have a memory of a golden fish. So goldfish definition is definitely, well, I can link myself. So sorry.
No,
but it's really nice to see you here today.
Too. Thank you. I'm good.
I'd like to actually see you more. So maybe, when we talk more, somehow I also can remember you better. Sorry.
Let's discover that.
Yeah.
Good news, guys. We are going live right now. So we are going to start. Welcome, everyone. Welcome the ones who are watching us live. Sevil, could you please share the link with the...
Sure.
So they can also share it with their friends, families. They can watch us live. They can comment. We are ready to receive any questions if you have during this session, and we're ready to respond to this at the end. So if you're watching us live, please leave the comment below. We're going to respond to it. My name is Miss Helena, and I'm an English language teacher and IELTS tutor. I was born and raised in Russia. Right now I'm living in Turkey, and well, I teach students English, and I'd like to give you a hand to teach you today, give you some lesson. It's going to be a demo lesson, an IELTS-wise class, where you will be able to test yourself whether you are ready for the IELTS or not, and what weaknesses you need to work on. Okay, and I think the floor is Sevil. Sevil, would you like to introduce yourself?
First, thank you so much, Miss. Well, actually, I'm an English teacher too. So my name is Sevil Bayraktar, and I'm doing my master's degree in Finland right now. I'm really enthusiastic about, different cultures, and that's somehow why I really enjoy the sessions, because people are from different parts of the world, and we speak in English, and we somehow share our ideas thanks to that, the language itself, actually. So I'm sure that you will have some great friends, get to know each other thanks to the sessions. But the most important thing is, of course, the informative sessions, which will help you to actually improve yourself, especially your speaking skills. So I'd like to actually hope you, I'd like to hope to see you actually more. So thank you so much, and we're looking forward to having you in our future lessons actually.
Yes, okay, so let me just tell you briefly what we're going to do today. So we will have like 45-15 minutes speaking, and at the end we're going to give you the feedback. Since we are not so crowded today, we don't need the breakout room, so we will just stay in the main meeting. So you'll have two teachers listening to you at the same time, and so you'll have a double feedback today. And then at the very end, we will provide the feedback. We will respond to the questions if we have some questions from the audience. And at the very end, we will say goodbye to the YouTube viewers, and we will continue with you, because we have a speaking club which runs 3 times in a week, and we can explain you how you can join it if you'd like to join us, of course. So that's the program for today. Let's get started. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. All right, great. So then, firstly, Vincent, can you just tell briefly about yourself, just shortly?
For sure. So I took IELTS before already, and I passed with, and good thing I passed with flying colors. But I was applying for continuing education, like for nursing right now, and they require me like to get a higher like writing score around 7.5. So that's my thing. Like I have to retake it just for the writing. And yeah, and also I would say that it's really nice like to practice speaking every day. Like even though just an hour every day is good rather than having practicing on 5 hours in one day and having a break. You know that consistency is the key. So
Of course, great. And you said that you're from the Philippines, is that right?
yeah, yes,
And you're now living in Canada.
in Canada. Yeah.
I see.
So
And what's
different.
your speaking score since you've taken your IELTS already?
I took IELTS last September, and I think I prepared for like 4 months straight and with consistency. So that gives me band score 8 for speaking.
Score 8. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really
Even
great.
me, even me, I was surprised because my target score is only 7, but it's good that I exceeded it. So, but I would say that my score will like not 8 anymore because I haven't really practiced IELTS specifically this past few years. So I'm trying to build it up again.
All right, all right. So I'm sure that you will, get into the flow and recall to mind what you've learned, and all your basic vocabulary will be back to active.
Yeah.
So, Mohammed Tadwan, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Mohammed Adwan. I studied mechanical engineering in Jordan University, and I graduated about a year ago, and I moved to UAE to start my career development path. And I'm still working on English, but not like organized like before, but just to be able to like express myself better now, and just to communicate with people around me now, because here it's kind of multi-national country, and we have a lot of origins here. So it definitely is important for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool, and so welcome, of course. And have you taken your IELTS?
I did around more than 1.5 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, but it was not a great
What was your
score.
score?
My overall score was 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And speaking?
L- I scored 6.5 in speaking, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Great, great. That's
Yeah.
also fine. Good.
Yeah. It's just okay.
Okay, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. Now let's move on, and we'll go around the table with the questions. I would like to ask Cyril to share the part 1 questions. Can you?
Sure, Miss. I have just shared it with you actually, so you can check the chat box. In part 1, we have 4 different questions, so we can actually go with them, I think.
Okay, great, great. So 4 questions, and I would like to offer you that plan. So one of you will ask, the other one will answer, and then you will swap. Okay. So Adwan, could you please pick up the question to address it to Vincent? Can you see the questions in the list? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Unmute yourself, please.
Well, dear Vincent,
Hello.
I'm gonna ask you, how do you usually keep in touch with members of your family?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, for me, it's kind of different because most of my members in the families on my in Philippines, which push me like to use social media, specifically for like a messenger, like video call. And yeah, the good thing about that is like it's free now compared before, because before you used to pay like overseas phone call, and that one like so expensive because that costs every like dollars per minute, I think.
Right.
But now good thing it like the technology is good now. So yeah, that's how I keep in touch with my family now.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah. Vincent,
yeah,
would you
go ahead.
ask a question, any question to Advan?
Sure. So do you prefer to speak to people by phone or by writing emails?
Like phone or well, it depends actually on whom I'm gonna call. Like if I'm going to call my mother, I prefer to call her via video call, just to picture also like messages, feelings, or it it has better communication. So this makes my mother much more like sure about me and about how I'm feeling. But if I'm contacting like my boss, definitely I'm going to mail him. Like yeah. So
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We have a new comer, Veronica. Hi, welcome, Veronica. Can you connect your audio and video, please?
Hello. I cannot connect my video because my appearance today is really bad because I'm ill.
Oh dear, get well soon. And
Thank
always girls are worrying about their views there. So that's why they usually put on makeup. They can't go live without even go, out of bed, you need to put on some makeup sometimes. Yeah, so I see, Veronica, no worries. Veronica, we are discussing part 1, and I think that at 1 you can ask the question to Veronica.
well, from part 1.
Oh, yes, we have 2 more questions.
Well, what's her name?
Veronica.
Veronica. Well, Veronica, is there anything you dislike about mobile phones?
To be honest, I think I must admit that I dislike in my mobile phone that it's sometimes disconnected with internet, and sometimes I use my mobile phone when I shouldn't do it because it wastes my valuable time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And Veronica, please just shoot your question. Can you see the list of questions?
Where?
If you click the chat box, you will see all the questions sent right there. But there is only one question left. Just address it to Vincent, I guess. And the question is, do you ever write letters by hand? Why not?
I cannot see any questions in.
It's okay. Just I have already answered for you.
Okay.
Write letters by hand.
I see now. So, do you ever write letters by hand? Why not?
Yes, I'd say I wrote some letters before by hand, but not that much compared to like by typing. I only write letters by hand when I need like legal documents, because like before when I used to work in the bank, like we required handwriting. So that means that it's a concrete evidence that we actually write the paper or the statements rather than on typing. And yeah, so that's the only thing. That's the only time that I wrote letters by my hand.
Mm-hmm, perfect. Okay. Yeah, people these days do not really write any letters or anything. We just type and send messages for the most part, of course. Okay, now I just wanted to recall to mind, Veronica, are you from Poland?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I remember. And are you preparing for IELTS?
Yes.
When's your exam?
I haven't ordered it yet but I think that I will order on December this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your desired score? Band?
7, I think.
7. Okay. Thank you. So let's move on. Part 2. What do you know about part 2 question? Of course, today we're talking about communication, so it's going to be some kind of communication. But let's just brainstorm what you remember. What is the what differs part 2 from any other parts? Edwan, you are muted.
We should mention one of the topics that you posted on Facebook, something. Actually, I have them here. So, can I read, or we should remember?
Well,
Oh well.
You need to basically in part 2 differs from any other parts that you have to talk for 1.5 to 2 minutes long. That's a monologue, and we are not used to monologues in our life, and it's one of the toughest parts that I've heard from the students that try to. They usually run out of topic, and it's important to know how to generate ideas. So today, we'll give you a test. Okay, it's going to be your test day. So you will be timed. I will time you for 1.5 minutes. You will be speaking. Actually, we're not very crowded today. You can talk for 2 minutes long, so that you can expand yourself even more. So each of you will speak for 2 minutes and give us some answer. And your topic is describe a conversation you recently had with someone. You should say who the person was, where the conversation took place, what you talked about, and explain why the conversation was interesting to you. If you joined, since you joined it from the Problem Messenger group or my group on Facebook, or from my Instagram account, I've shared with you the PDF file with some sample answers with the vocabulary, because every time we try to help you out, we try to prepare some samples. I know how difficult it is. We know it, so we need to support you. We do our best to support you. So that question was really tough to me, to be perfectly honest. Even I had to think for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. I just had to, recall the latest interesting conversation. And, you will have just 1 minute to do that. That's really tough. So you have to be quick thinking of the idea. Okay, so now we won't have a preparation time. I won't give you some preparation time, guys. Sorry, we will have to start right away. Normally, you in the exam you have 1 minute, but I was speaking for almost 2 minutes, so perhaps it gave you some time to prepare, at least to gain some idea. And we have Kamran. Kamran joined us. Kamran, welcome. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Hi, sorry about this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Kamran. I'm preparing for the IELTS test, and I need a band 7 and above for speaking.
All right. So, where are you from, Kamran?
I'm originally from Azerbaijan, but I live in a different country in the US.
All right. And when's your exam?
What's up?
When's
Can
your
you say that
exam?
again? Oh, okay. I'm planning to sit in exam in a month.
In October, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So we share the questions in the message box. So please have a look. Click the chat box, and you will see the questions. So you will have to think and describe a conversation you recently had with someone. Can you see the question?
Let me check it quick. Yeah, I do see it.
Okay, so you have some time to prepare, and other students, please have a look and listen please to each other. It's really important because you will surely become some interesting language. You can take notes if you would like to, and this will help you. You can also give your feedback to your speech partner, and that will help him or her grow. Okay, so let's get started. Who would like to go first? I think one is ready, right? One is ready, aren't you?
Well, I'm not, but I will start. Maybe.
Okay. You seem like you smile, you seem relaxed, so it already give good impression, and it would surely give good impression on the examiner. So you this is what is I wouldn't say required, but it is advisable to do, so that when people see smiley face, when people happy, relaxed person from them, they are willing to listen.
Well,
and psychologically, maybe you can get a higher band. We'll see. Of course, it's
really?
won't affect your score, but still, it will surely affect your performance.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm ready when you are. I will time you.
Well, let's go ahead. I'm gonna start.
Okay.
Well, I would like to talk about a conversation that happened between me and my manager. My manager is an electrical engineer, and I'm a mechanical engineer. We were talking in our office, and this office exists in the place of our work. Like, we have the project in front of us, so it was kind of a work environment. And the topic of the conversation was about which is more important, or the importance of the academic knowledge over the practical skills, like the hands-on experience. And it was so interesting for me, because we agreed on most of the ideas, and we agreed on the academic knowledge is much more important than the hands-on experience. Because this was what distinguishes you from your technicians, and this puts you in a different way with scientists, However, you can get the hands-on experience by practicing for a little while, and the time to act, the time to excel in the technical issues is not comparable to the time to excel in the scientific knowledge, if I can say that. So we agreed on this, and that was what I'm going to mention.
And time was up. You agreed on this. Okay, that was the great finishing point.
Yeah.
Without that, it wouldn't be complete, but you have had your finishing point. You agree? Perfect.
Thankfully.
Feedback, and Sylvie probably took notes. She is going to tell some feedback to you too. And let's move on. Who's going to go next? Vincent, you?
Yep. No.
Okay, Vincent, I'm ready when you are. Just let me know. I'm going to time.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, the timer is on. Start.
All right. So the recent interesting conversation that I had with my friend, and which I used to work with him before in McDonald's about 2 years ago, and it took place in our local gym because the good thing is like I was just busy on my like workout. Then I saw him, then I convert and I engaged to like in conversation with him because it's been a while that I've seen him, so that's why like I take a moment to like to post my workout and say hello to my old friend. And then it's interesting because he actually have a working permit, and he also like took IELTS before, and he mentioned that because I told him that I have to retake my IELTS and I feel bad because I didn't like, get my band score, like desired band score, and he make it sound like easy, and he said, "Oh, just retake it because like because sometimes we fail because we just need to improve on some of the areas in our life." So that's why like he inspires me because even though he like works full time and he still managed to like to review like for the IELTS. So in fact we're practicing each other, right? And yeah, and that also like helps me like to build my fluency as well. In order to like to brush up your fluency, you have to like review every day, and not only in academic speaking but also in daily speaking, like you're having a conversation with your friend.
Okay, you still had like 10 seconds more to speak, but it's okay. It's totally fine.
Okay, thank you.
More than 1.5 minutes, it's totally fine. After 2 minutes long, after 2 minutes speech, the examiner for sure will stop you. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Again, I'll provide the feedback at the very end of the meeting, and Cyril is going to also to say to add her 2 cents into. I think that we can give the floor to Veronica.
Okay, so I want to say, talk about conversation with the young boy from a Muslim country. I have had many conversations with him by the internet on Messenger because we have one common aim to pass our IELTS exam. So we talked about different topics. One last conversation with him. It was about cultural difference between our countries. He said that in his country they don't have any public libraries, and they don't have any paper traditional newspapers. So it was shocked for me, and it broadened my horizons to get to know about new cultures. I think that this conversation was really interesting for me.
Okay, let me check the timer. Okay, perfect timing. So you just had a couple of seconds left, but for the most part, you filled it in. Perfect, Veronica. Thank you so much. Yeah, cultural differences. Yeah, that's why Sivit and I would do this activity also, because it broadens our horizons as well. We see different people, we meet you, we make you meet, and we actually, the mission of our speaking club and our activities, whatever we do, is to make the world united. So this is our slogan. We can say we make the world united, because we really would like to connect people, not separate them, but just to connect. We have more things in common, in fact, than we think. Okay, Kamran, are you back with us? Kamran? You're on mute?
Yes, yeah, I'm here. Sorry about
okay. Yes, so if you're ready, we are ready to listen to you.
All right. Well, today I'm going to talk about a conversation I recently had with like, I would say it was none other than any person on the internet. I met with this guy on the Keys Academy. Well, we talked about the IELTS test and how to get a higher band score in the speaking test. The main things we talked about was the part 1 and part 2, part 3, how the questions are arranged, and how long you have to speak for each question. Well, the reason why I liked this conversation and I found this interesting was because this guy was actually an IELTS test, an IELTS instructor. So I really get a lot of benefit from his conversation, because he taught me how the examiner give attention to your use of phrasal verbs, or the phrases that's not common. So that's why I really enjoyed this conversation. Another reason why I liked his the conversation I had with this guy was because he actually got a band 9 score in the speaking test, and his natural conversation was a cut above the rest. So I still remember his phrases and his way of grammatical structures. So that's why I really enjoyed the conversation with this guy. In the past, I have never had a chance to talk with a random guy on the internet and get a lot of benefit. But I think that was the really good experience I will remember for a long time. But I think in the future, if I get a chance again to find somebody like this guy, I would definitely give a go to that chance. And I think I will recommend some of my friends to get in touch with this guy, so that he can help them to get a higher band score in the test.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. Perfect. Okay, perfect, Kamran. You were going on and on. Perfect. Okay, we will give you some break. Take a breath, and we are moving on to part 3. Are you ready?
For me? All right.
For everyone. So we're moving to part 3, and Sivir, could you please share the discussion questions? You have already done. Okay, you're so kind. Thank you. So have a look at the questions. We will go around the table. It will be a both-way discussion. So you will ask the question. The other speaker is going to respond to your question, and then you can agree or disagree. So actually, part 3 is, and it is expected to be a both-way discussion, but it is just a one-way discussion, because of course exam tests you, not the examiner. But now we, just to practice, I'd like to have it more likewise and lively, and more challenging for you, and more authentic for us. So I'd like we to do it this way, if you don't mind. And so that you can exchange your ideas. You can agree, you can disagree. I think it's going to be just more involving, more engaging. So if you don't mind, let's do it this way. So let's start. How is communication changing between people? It used to be common to talk to strangers, etc. So if you have a look at the questions, please pick up one, pick up the student you're going to address this question to, and let's get started. So let's move on. Let's start with Veronica this time. Veronica, think who you'd like to discuss the question with and select the question.
Okay, maybe question 2. It used to be common to talk to strangers. Do you think it's okay to talk to people you don't know?
Okay, question 2, and who do you ask?
To Vincent.
Vincent. Okay, Vincent, it used to be, I will repeat the question because I think that the listeners, the viewers couldn't hear it. Veronica's microphone had some.
Okay, it used to be common to talk to strangers. Do you think it's okay to talk to people you don't know?
Okay. Now it was better.
Based on my personal opinion, yes, it's definitely okay like to talk to strangers because we never know what the strangers can give us like some valuable experience from their lives. And but for the most part, before talking to strangers, you'll be having so much anxiety like everybody have, because like you don't have any idea like what's the outcome of that conversation will be. So just dip in the water and just try and engage to a conversation with the stranger. We never know, you might end up like for the stranger to be with friends with them, and that's a good thing, like to face your fears. Like for personally for me, I'm having troubles in like speaking with the strangers. Like this morning, I'm having some anxiety, but the moment that you like face it, you will feel much more better because you accomplish something at the end of the day, and you think that oh, at first I thought that I can't do it, but you end up doing it at all, and it works in a good way. So.
Do you agree? Veronica, what do you say? Do you agree?
I think that I agree.
Just, you know, a couple of more sentences. Expand it.
Okay, so I think meeting strangers, it's really amazing experience. We can get to know new information. We get to know new information about the world, and we can make new friends. It's really important in nowadays because we have only few chances to find new friends, because it is really hard to make new friends.
Okay, thank you. The next one, Edvan, please pick a question. And of course, pick the student you'd like to discuss it with. Edvan? So select one of the questions.
Yes. Well, hello, Carmen.
Hi.
Yeah, I picked this question for you.
All right.
How do you think will people communicate in the future?
Well, my take on this is we will probably experience a lot more advanced way of communication. Like what I mean by this is through like technology such as like cell phones, or the programs like WhatsApp or Hangout, like Gtalk, these kind of things has enabled us to communicate with people in a way that we never has had a chance to do. But I think this way of talking will likely improve in the future, and we will be able to communicate with people in a technology environment, but it will be in a more advanced way. I can give an example from real life. Like in the past, we were only able to communicate with our friends or family members through the post office. We were writing letters and we were waiting a lot of time to get back from this person. But right now we are able to communicate with other person in a moment. We send a message and they instantly get the message. And I think this likelihood will continue in the future, and we will be able to communicate a lot quicker, a lot easier ways, in easier ways.
Well, definitely, I do agree with you. Well, like you mentioned, they were communicating via post office, and now we communicate through the social media. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube for my role model, Elon Musk. He's planning just to connect people via chips inside their brains, just to remove part of your brain and put chip there. And maybe this is gonna be like the way to connect people via nothing, and just instead of having like a cell phone in your hand, you're gonna have just a chip in your they're gonna replace the cell phone with a chip inside the brain. So this will make the communication much more faster and easier. Well, so yeah, we communicate in a moment now, and maybe in the future we communicate in no time. And like what I read in Elena's Facebook post, maybe we can read each other's thoughts like that. So that was my comment on your answer, and very interesting topic.
It's an interesting question, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, to think and imagine what our communication is going to be in the future. It's really interesting. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Vincent, please pick a question and someone who you're going to discuss it with.
Sure. So the only question that left is the first one. How is communication changing between people?
Who do you ask the question to? Veronica, or to who are you going to first to?
Yeah, to Veronica.
Okay. Okay.
So, in my humble opinion, communication changing very much between people. In old times, people communicated by the post office. They were writing letters, and they often visited each other in their homes. But nowadays we more often communicate by the internet and by different social media, and we less often communicate face to face. I think that it's not good for us, not good for our knowledge, because when we communicate face to face, we can get to know more information about ourselves than communicate by internet.
Yeah,
Okay, what do you think, Vincent?
that's right. I completely agree with you, Veronica. Just like you mentioned that it used to be like so traditional ways that we have to go to the post office just to send the letter mail. And that one, my parents told me like it usually takes about a week or even a month if you're going to send it like overseas. Compared to now, like it's so much more advanced, and given the fact that we have so innovation and like the technology, like we can send our message in a split second, just type and then just hit the send button compared before. And I also agree with you that you said that you prefer more speaking in person. And because I think the reason why, because we develop more like rapport when actually talking like person I in front of you, because like you can like share your feelings with them as opposed to the like to the technology. Don't get me wrong, the technology one is good as well, but sometimes like it feels weird to talk with the camera like now. Like me, I think it's been a year since I like use my camera. So like some of the people have that problems like talking in front of the camera. So that's why I'm just like not not taking the camera like to the serious one, but it turns out I have to face that one, not on the side, just to portray that you're actually talking to someone online. So that's my that's my point.
All right, thank you so much. Great. Okay, I think it's time for us to get the feedback, right? Has everyone discussed everything and answered all the questions? Everyone had an opportunity to speak. Perfect, perfect. Okay, then yes, it's time then for us to move on to the feedback part. And of course, I would like to provide you a chance to, to give feedback to each other if you'd like to, so don't be afraid to do so. First, who I'd like to give some feedback is Vincent. Does anyone want to share, some ideas about Vincent? Speech? What did you like? So if you have any ideas, of course, Veronica, Advan, Kamran, did you like something? Did you take some notes about his vocabulary or whatever he used? What did you notice?
He has got a lot of words and expressions, I think.
Yes, he has a really wide vocabulary range. It's totally true. So no surprise you scored band 8 because you have a really great lexicon. Anybody else wants to share some things? Okay, fine then. So yeah, I do agree with Veronica. Perfect point, Veronica. Point on. Well, I could just mention a couple of them. I mean, in a split second. Rapport. Don't get me wrong. All the things you told is really sound really natural. So at the beginning, you were not quite sure. You were a little bit shy, and you needed some time to open up. But we can see evidently that toward the end of the conversation, you totally got into the flow and you just started speaking fluently. And so I just picked on a couple of mistakes, but I can mention one of them, or maybe two. We required handwriting. You skipped the passive voice. It was all your mistakes actually were basically mentioned in the beginning. So we are required handwriting. I think that's what you meant. Yes. In the bank, I think you worked in the bank, and so you were required the handwriting. You used it. You misused the passive voice. And you see, when you were talking about your conversation with the friends, you said, I talked with my friend, which I used to work together. So you use the relative clause, which is which is for used for, you know, some subject for non-live objects. Yes. So who I used to work together, whom I used to work together with. These are two things I've noticed. Pronunciation was fine to me. You were intelligible. I could understand everything what you were saying. Maybe Sylvie would like to add her 2 cents to that.
Okay, let me just do it briefly. But actually, I really liked your speech. Your answers were quite fluent and they were well developed, actually. Although there were some grammar points, mistakes that I have well detected, I think you definitely deserve some pens like you got, actually. So I would only suggest you to actually use a little bit more idiomatic expressions. That would be better for me to actually hear some. But you have used many phrasal verbs. That was actually great to actually at least make the sentences more connected to each other, more meaningful and developed, as I've said before. Yeah, there was only a grammar mistake that I wanted to share with you. And well, it's just like Miss said, I think your pronunciation is also good. There was only one thing that I got it, but I think it would be better for you to check the pronunciation of even though, because it seemed like it was, it was quite audible, but there was just a bit point. Just check it. I'm sure you will do better than that because your speech was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything to ask, Vincent?
I just like want to thanks that for bringing up like my mistakes, because it's always good to have like a pair of ears, because sometimes you don't actually like where did you like what did you miss, and it's good like to bring up like the mistakes. So yeah, I know next time what areas to improve for.
Okay, great. Yes, so you have some areas of improvement. So for the future, you can focus on them for now.
Exactly.
Okay, next we have Advan. So anyone would like to share your opinion about advanced speech? Veronica, Kamran, Vincent, anyone can share your opinion. What did you like?
One thing I like about Edwan, he's naturally like speaking, and you can't really tell that he's really confident the way he speaks.
Thank you, man. I love you.
Okay, yeah. Oh, he seems really confident, and you know, the way you put your ideas across is really fantastic, because it's usually coherent, and you try to connect it with some cohesive devices, and you're so kind and, you know, authentic in what you're doing. It's visible that you are handling it really well. I think in your native tongue, you're also a good communicator. It seems like, because sometimes it's obvious when people are can, you know, communicate well or can express themselves well from their mother tongue. They're usually very catchy, because this is a communication skill, and you definitely have it. So besides that, you are quite fluent, I should say. I couldn't point on the mistakes. Maybe Sivil could point some grammar mistakes I couldn't point out right now. Maybe I can skim a little bit more my notes after Sivil gives her point of view.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can agree with you, Vincent, actually, for Edwin's speech, because he seems quite friendly, and yeah, I somehow got that reflection of your positive energy, and I wanted to make it more, finding a more way to actually talk a little bit more at least. For me, well, let me check my notes. Yeah, you use adverbs at the correct places to will actually show the importance or the level that you want to share with the people. Like, it is definitely important for me, but the pink for this sentence was actually for you. You have forgotten to use the verb, so there was a missing verb. And sometimes you forget to use pronouns, but maybe that's because you're somehow rushing, or you're trying to maybe.
It's from Jordan. In the rush, sorry, in the rush.
So,
okay, I missed it. I thought you said sometimes. Okay, keep carrying on. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so well, actually, you use nice phrasal verbs to make your answers more meaningful, and well, actually, nice connectors. You use nice connectors, like some. I can actually share them later on, but like instead of however and ever more. And yeah, actually, I couldn't even find something more as mistakes, but the main points for you that I have that I can suggest is definitely, well, the ones related to grammar. You should be careful with the verbs, grammar choice, and with the pronouns, actually. Except for those you were quite fluent, as I've said, and your pronunciation was okay, good. And well, maybe you can also try to use more idioms, because they will help you to actually show your skills more, and so somehow you'll get higher bands thanks to them. But I really liked your speech answers. That was really nice to actually talk to you today here.
Yeah, that's what I also wanted to share, that yeah, I couldn't hear any idioms or idiomatic expressions, and not so many phrasal verbs, so you can work on it. This is your area of improvement.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to share something, Edvan?
Yeah, actually, your feedback just made my day, and it's really so it's so important, like just to know the scope of work you have to work on, like or your weaknesses, just to work on them, right? And yeah, I do value your feedback. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome anytime. Okay, we'll move on to Veronica. Veronica, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then, so I would like to provide some feedback. Well, good transitions today, and you have definitely improved this area since we last met. You said, to be honest, I must admit that. And so more like these connectors and starters of your speech that you haven't used in previous sessions, and I think that is great. Also, some vocabulary, you started to use some, I think, more like idiomatic expressions. That's also what I pointed out. You need to work on the fluency, because your speech is tend to be a little bit slow or slower than it's needed to get the band 7, which you aspire. And you have some pronunciation issues. You have some incorrect pronunciation, like such as cultural. You say cultural or something like that. Cultural, for example, cultural differences. That's what you mentioned today.
Yes.
Can you say it? Repeat after me. Cultural.
Cultural.
Perfect. Okay, and libraries.
Libraries.
Yeah, so we were talking about public libraries. You said libraries or something.
Yes.
It's a library. So I enjoyed your speech today. It was all in all great. Just really focus on polishing your pronunciation. Do a lot of listening. It will help because you will come across some words that you have mispronounced probably, because it's called fossilized mistakes. Fossilized mistakes means you learned them wrong, and then later on it's hard to improve. So do some listening. It will surely help you. And the flows. Of course, you have to talk on a daily basis to get over it, so you will pace yourself much more. Probably Sevil would like to add something. Sevil?
Actually, I couldn't agree more, Miss. I have also detected that pronunciation mistake, like cultural and libraries. And except for those, there were, well, actually nothing for me from the pronunciation part, but there were some grammar mistakes as well. At the beginning, Veronica said, it wastes my time, I think. No, it's waste my time. And waste there should need S,
Yes.
so it wastes my time. And there was, preposition mistake as well. When we mention about the things about months, we use in, and it's say for seasons actually. You said on December, I think, but it should be in December. So be careful with that as well, because it's quite easy. I mean, we can approach it from even Googling something. So be careful with that. The basic rules, that's exactly. So be careful with that. I agree that you should definitely practice more to be more fluent. So as usually we say that practice makes it perfect. So yeah, what can I say more? Practice makes perfect. So just practice more. It will be quite helpful for you to become fluent. And there were some missing articles, like boy from Muslim country. I think there was a missing a, so be careful with those. You use nice expressions like the ones, for instance, broaden my horizon, and there were some more. And I think, there were some pauses, so you may work on some topics as well, so you can find some ideas to share, because you may get run out of ideas at some points. So in order to hinder that problem, once again, practice more. And yeah, those are the ones that I'd like to add. Except for those, your speech was good.
Okay. Veronica, would you like to add something?
Thank you for any advices. I must add that I know about grammar rules, but I felt badly. When I feel badly, I forget about rules. So my health causes these mistakes, I think so.
Well, that's a common issue, actually. Most of us face such difficulties, especially for articles, because in some language there are no articles, and it may be quite difficult to get to use those articles. So it's quite normal. It will just get better when we practice more.
Yeah, and when we talk about, feelings, you said I feel bad. I feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
I think she mentioned she has a health issue, like is she tired or something like that? Are you tired?
Are you
Are you
tired?
sick? Like she mentioned my health caused this. Maybe she
Mentioned
is sick,
health issues. Yeah.
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 Health issues.
which you speed recovery.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems like your voice doesn't have enough power to.
Yeah, yes, because I'm tired. I'm recovering from serious illness.
So get well soon.
Thank you very much.
Get well soon. And by the way, I didn't ask your feedback to Veronica's speech. Advan said that it sounded a little bit tiring, as if you're tired. So probably you will be better next time. But maybe Vincent and Kamran can add something. What did you like about Veronica's speech? Maybe you picked on some vocabulary.
For me, the thing that I like for Veronica's speech, she used some of the idiomatic expressions like the broaden the horizon, and also she showcased some comparison like structures in part 3 that she said like it used to be the old ways, then she compared it to the current ways now. So yeah, that's what I like about it.
Thank you so much. Okay, and does anyone want to say a couple of words and share your opinion about Kamran's speech? So we are coming over to Kamran. So Veronica, Vincent, Advan, would you like to share your ideas about Kamran's speech? Vincent?
I'd say he's also quite confident, like the way he speaks, and
Definitely, yes.
yeah, especially like the part two, like the part two questions. He just keeps going and going, and not only that, but also like the some of the structures that he used, and of course the vocabulary as well.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Kamran, your video is off. Are you with us now?
Right.
Okay, we can see you now. All right, so I hope you're ready for the feedback. Well, your speech was brilliant. You were so dynamic, energetic. You did your best. It was full of idiomatic expressions, to mention some. My take on this is a nice way to say that it's like, in my opinion, yes, my take on this, it's a nice way to express it. You've used a couple of more, actually a lot of more. Just I'm afraid I can't mention them right now. Maybe Steven will. So you have also vocabulary range was also quite high. Instantly, some great was cut. Okay, yeah, I found it. Was a cut above, yes. So his natural conversation was a cut above. So you mentioning that it was perfect, really good. So you all through your speech you were using some interesting vocabulary, not really common ones, and of course you will be a higher achiever in your IELTS test. I have no doubts about that. Also, you have the way you express your ideas is quite coherent, and vocabulary is quite varied. Like when you were talking about the future, you used it is likely it will likely improve. This likelihood will continue. So it was quite an interesting way to express yourself. Not very common. Yeah, so for part two, or well, I think you skipped part one because as far as I remember, I don't remember you answering. You came a little bit later. So for part two, it was also, I mean, you filled in this 2 minutes and you could keep talking on and on. I had to even stop you, and the examiner will also stop you. Just be sure about that. And I mean, you could, of course, maybe you could work a little bit more on your structure of your ideas, put it and connect it in a more coherent way. But all in all, I think your grammar and vocabulary and fluency is one of your strongest points, and pronunciation was absolutely clear to me. Sevil, it's over to you.
I think you can hear me right now. Okay. Well, I will add just a few things because, well, unfortunately, we couldn't listen to Kamran at the beginning for the part one, but for part two and part three, Kamran, you were quite fluent and definitely confident. That was really something nice because as we have already talked about, well, somehow our mood and our well, expressions also affect our results, not directly, but the examiner checks what kind of things do we do during the examination. So being confident is something definitely great. Well, I can suggest you to paraphrase the questions more. So you give actually direct answers, but you can of course paraphrase them and make the answer a little bit longer maybe. But except for that, that was quite good. And there was only one pronunciation thing that I'd like to suggest. Actually, you have pronounced it almost correct, but I think due to your mother tongue, you somehow pronounce it like technology rather than technology. So just be careful with that as well. Technology is the way maybe we should pronounce it, but the sounds a little bit incorrect. So these are the things that I'd like to share for your speech because it was almost perfect for me. I mean, the vocabulary that you've used was definitely great, and the grammar choice was also very well, and you were quite meaningful, and of course, as I've said, fluent, but just there was a little issue with the pronunciation of only one word. So I hope my feedback is somehow helpful because I only shared the things which I heard.
Thank you so much. Yes, great. Okay. Yeah, Kamran, do you have anything to ask, to add?
No. This I agree with this technology part. I somehow know the right pronunciation, but when it comes to actual talking, I make this mistake a lot. Technology.
Technology. Yeah. All right, great. Then I have just checked the questions from YouTube. We have a couple of fans who wrote us today. So you will check some things. You were mentioned in one of the comments, so you will check it later. But I didn't see any questions, any inquiries to us, so that's why I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube viewers, and we will continue with the rest who are with the rest of you guys. Okay, just if any of the YouTube viewers have any questions, you can address us later on when they pop up in your mind, and you can just surely write them down in the comments and we will respond to you. So thank you for joining us, and goodbye. Sevil, maybe you can say goodbye also to the YouTube viewers.
Thank you for the compliments and goodbye.